Hello everyone! I've counted the votes, and the card that you wanted me to talk about most is Anub'arak, servant of the Lich King, resurrected and brought back many times, and given a place in many of the Blizzard games. That means that there's plenty to talk about, so let's begin, shall we? Once upon a time, Anub'arak was the king of a race called the Ner'zhul. The Ner'zhul, they come from an ancient race called the Aqir, insectoids of incredible resilience and strength, born from the organic matter of the old gods. By being close to the old god Yogg-saron, these specific Aqir evolved into the Ner'zhul, as we've seen with other Aqir like the Mentit in Pandaria who worship Y'Shaarj, and the Qiraji that worked for the old god C'Thun. Many years later, when the Lich King was sent down by Kil'jaeden to weaken the world and get it ready for another invasion from the Legion, the Ner'zhul, they found themselves fighting a war on two fronts. In their struggle against the Lich King's undead forces, the Ner'zhul, they dug deeper and they lost ground. They inadvertently exposed the minions of the old gods known as the Faceless Ones, and in the end, they could not fight a war on two fronts. That piece of information is taken from a quest called the Faceless Ones, and it raises the question as to why the Faceless Ones and the Ner'zhul, both seemingly minions of the old god Yogg-saron, were actually fighting with each other. I sadly couldn't find a clear answer to this. However, one of you on Facebook notified me of an explanation written within the Warcraft Chronicles. As the Titan Keepers were fighting with Yogg-saron, he sent out the greatest of his generals, the Kafraxi, the Faceless Generals. In response, Odin commanded Loken to weave a grand illusion spell that forced the Kafraxi to see themselves and even Yogg-saron as the enemy. It's possible that this spell lingered on, turning the Faceless Ones against the Ner'zhul. Now you might ask, what about the Faceless One in front of Yogg-saron's prison? But remember that we didn't reach that point in the storyline until after we took down Loken. Perhaps his spell vanished when he did. It's a little bit vague, I have to admit, but it's the best explanation that I've seen so far. Either way, the Ner'zhul ended up in a war with the Lich King, and their king Anub'arak, he did everything he could to win. While Thrall was liberating his brethren in Lordaeron, Ner'zhul the Lich King continued to build up his power base in Northrend. A great citadel was erected above the Ice-Crown Glacier and manned by the growing legions of the dead. Yet as the Lich King extended his influence over the land, one shadowy empire stood against his power. The ancient subterranean kingdom of Azul Naru, which had been founded by a race of sinister humanoid spiders, sent their elite warrior guards to attack Icecrown and end the Lich King's mad bid for dominance. Much to his frustration, Ner'zhul found that the evil Ner'zhulians were immune not only to the plague, but to his telepathic domination as well. The Ner'zhulian Spider Lords commanded vast forces and had an underground network that stretched nearly half the breadth of Northrend. Their hit-and-run tactics on the Lich King's strongholds stymied his efforts to root them out time after time. Ultimately, Ner'zhul's war against the Ner'zhulians was won by attrition. With the aid of the sinister Dreadlords and innumerable undead warriors, the Lich King invaded Azul Naru and brought its subterranean temples crashing down upon the Spider Lords' heads. Though the Ner'zhulians were immune to his plague, Ner'zhul's growing necromantic powers allowed him to raise the Spider Warriors' corpses and bend them to his will. Left to rule his kingdom unopposed, the Lich King began preparing for his true mission in the world, reaching out into human lands with his vast consciousness. The Lich King called out to any dark soul that would listen. And from that moment on, Anub'arak was forced to serve his new king, the Lich King. He and his fellow undead Ner'zhulians, they were pitched against their own people. They slaughtered many of them, earning him the title of Traitor King. He gave Kel'thuzad a tour of Naxxramas as the Whispers of Ner'zhul compelled the mages to join them in Northrend, and his forces were sent to help Arthas on his mission to merge with Ner'zhul. Both Arthas and Kel'thuzad noticed that Anub'arak did not serve the Lich King willingly, but the Ner'zhulian had no choice. During Wrath of the Lich King, adventurers teamed up with the still living Ner'zhulians as they fought their way through Azul Naru, eventually taking down the Traitor King. Yet as it goes with the undead, they don't stay dead often, and during the trial of the Crusader, we found out that the Lich King had resurrected Anub'arak again, and he got a second chance to serve. Once more, heroes battled with the Crypt Lord, and once again, they tried to put him down and liberate him from his service to the Lich King. Only time will tell if Anub'arak is going to stay down this time, but his adventures don't end here. He's apparently such a beloved character that Blizzard had decided to send him to the Nexus and fight within Heroes of the Storm. Once forced into servitude, in this realm, no one would command his power. He would conquer the Nexus, and all those who would oppose him shall embrace the web of death. From the Nexus, he moved on to Hearthstone, where he became a rogue legendary card. He has been brought back from the dead so many times, has been incorporated in so many different games, and this is reflected in his Death Rattle, where he returns to the player's hand and summons a 4/4 Nerubian. Apparently, Anub'arak was a pretty nice guy before, you know, the whole Lich King thing, and who knows, maybe Blizzard will decide to bring him back once more. However, for this moment, that's all the story I have for you on the Traitor King. As always, I'll leave it up to you guys and girls to decide what card we're going to talk about next, so leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and who knows, your card might be used in the next video. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time guys, see ya!